Welcome to my channel. Today, we're going to be talking about IAmAHero by Kengo Hanazawa. So if you've never heard of this manga or watched the anime, it takes place in a world where a virus has zombified Tokyo. We follow Hideo, who is a regular guy working a regular job in a publishing company. He's got a bit of an unhealthy obsession with a coworker of his named Rika, but that's all pretty normal. Well, until the day he gets on the subway and sees a woman eating another passenger's face off. Yep, we're talking full-on zombies here. And so we join Hideo as he makes his way out of the city, leaving behind the shambling hordes of the undead. As the story progresses, we see Hideo struggle to survive in this new world. He eventually makes it out to the countryside of Japan, where he meets up with some other survivors and tries to settle into a new life. But when a group of dangerous men show up looking for Rika, Hideo has to team up with a quirky cast of characters in order to protect her. Now, what I really like about this story is that the depiction of the outbreak itself feels very realistic. It's not one of those stories where everyone just turns into a zombie overnight. Instead, we get to see the slow, horrifying realization of what's happening as more and more people are infected, and the true extent of the outbreak becomes clear. The way the characters have to deal with dwindling supplies and the breakdown of society also feels very plausible, which makes the story all the more terrifying. Another thing that stands out to me is Hideo's narration. He's definitely an unreliable narrator. And as the story goes on, we start to see him descend into a more animalistic, self-centered state. There's also a lot of internal monologues where Hideo kind of talks about how he can't believe things are going the way they are, how everything's falling apart. And it's interesting because you can tell that he's starting to adopt the mindset of a survivor. He starts thinking about things in terms of, how many cans of food does he have left? Is he carrying enough water? How much longer can he keep this up? And it's just a really slow burn, but you can see him change throughout the course of the story. There's also a lot of really standout action scenes. One of the ones that really comes to mind is when Rika is fighting off these two guys who are trying to, take advantage of her. And she's furious. She's like a wild animal. It's really, really intense. But yeah, overall, I would say that this manga is definitely worth checking out if you haven't already. I think it does a really good job of exploring themes of isolation and mental health in a way that I haven't seen explored too much in other zombie media. And I guess another thing that I want to mention is that while there are obviously similarities to The Walking Dead, I feel like IAmAHero is much more realistic in its depiction of a zombie outbreak and the aftermath. In The Walking Dead, there's always this sort of hope that things will go back to normal, that the characters will find a cure or a vaccine. But in IAmAHero, there's no happy ending. The best case scenario is just surviving and moving on, accepting the fact that things will never go back to the way they were. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss any of our future videos.